This week, I want to take you deep into the wetlands of the Southeast, into the murky, winding waterways of Georgia and South Carolina, where a silent warning is rising from the depths. It's a warning carried not by words, but in the blood of one of nature's oldest survivors, the alligator. New research from the University of Georgia's Odum School of Ecology and Marine Extension and Georgia Sea Grant has uncovered troubling levels of mercury in alligators from three key sites: the Okefenokee Swamp, Jekyll Island, and the Yawkey Wildlife Center. Why alligators? Because these ancient reptiles sit at the top of their food chain. They're not just impressive relics of evolution, they're living indicators. What happens to them may be happening quietly and invisibly to every level of the ecosystem beneath them. Over the course of several months, researchers analyzed blood samples and diets from more than 100 alligators. The findings were stark. Alligators living in the Okefenokee Swamp had mercury levels 8 times higher than those from the other two sites. Mercury is a naturally occurring element, but when it's released in large quantities, often through industrial runoff or precipitation, it doesn't just disappear, it settles. It lingers in our rivers, in our wetlands, and most dangerously, in the bodies of animals. Small fish absorb it, larger fish eat them, and predators like alligators and humans eat those fish. That's one of the results from the study that was most striking to me, said Jeb Byers, co-author of the study and UGA Athletic Association professor in the Odum School. Mercury is a neurotoxin that is very lethal to organisms. If it builds up, it moves through the food web and creates the perfect storm. That's what we have in the Okefenokee. And it gets worse. The study showed that larger, older alligators had even higher concentrations. That's not just because they've had more time to accumulate it, it's because as they age, they begin consuming larger prey, already contaminated. They're essentially eating their way into greater toxicity. But what shocked researchers most was the discovery that even hatchlings, baby alligators just entering the world, already showed high mercury levels. The toxins, it turns out, are being passed from mother to egg, from one generation to the next. This isn't just a story about reptiles, it's a story about all of us. Because while alligators may be the apex predators of their ecosystems, we are the apex consumers overall. People who fish or hunt in these regions, many of whom rely on wild-caught food for sustenance, could be unknowingly exposing themselves and their families to dangerous levels of mercury. Neurological damage, reproductive issues, even death. These are not distant threats. They are real possibilities, especially for communities that depend on these waters. This research isn't just a red flag, it's a siren. We've known for years that mercury was creeping into our ecosystems, but now, for the first time, we're seeing the extent to which it's embedding itself into the very life systems we rely on. And if mercury is affecting one of the most resilient, long-lived species in the swamp, what is it doing to fish, to birds, to humans? This study raises important questions about how mercury enters our ecosystems, where the major sources are, and how we can mitigate this invisible threat. It also reminds us of the urgent need to monitor the health of our apex species, not just for their sake, but for our own. So what can we do? First, we need more research. Understanding the sources and transmission of mercury is critical to reducing its spread. Second, we need to expand our monitoring, not just in alligators, but across fish, birds, and mammals that share these ecosystems. And third, we need policies, backed by science, that limit mercury emissions and protect the waters that sustain us. Let the alligator be our messenger, and this research be our call to action, because what we learn from the swamp doesn't stay in the swamp. Don't stop here. Find out more. Visit the links in the description below for more in-depth information on the stories presented in this video. Or if you are a part of a wildlife organization doing something interesting right now, let us know in the comments.